the crow flies back into the heart of the forest. She searches for the perfect spot to enjoy her delicious prize in peace. The crow finds a magnificent old oak tree standing tall in a sunny clearing. This tree is the tallest and grandest in the forest. The crow flies up to the highest branch of the oak tree. She lands gracefully on the thick branch high above the ground below. From this high perch, the crow can see the entire forest around her. She feels safe and proud, like a queen on her throne. The crow looks down at the cheese, held tightly in her beak. The golden wedge gleams beautifully in the warm morning sunlight. The crow tilts her head, admiring the cheese from different angles. Her eyes sparkle with satisfaction and pride over her find. The crow puffs up her chest feathers with great pride. She believes she is the cleverest and luckiest bird in all the land. The crow prepares to take her first delicious bite. She opens her beak slightly, ready to taste the wonderful cheese at last. Meanwhile, in a dark corner of the forest, the fox lives alone in his small den. The morning light barely reaches inside his home. The fox wakes up feeling weak and tired. His stomach growls loudly with hunger. He has not eaten anything for many days now. The fox crawls out of his den slowly. He looks around the forest with desperate eyes, hoping to find something to eat today. The fox wanders through the forest, sniffing the ground and bushes. He searches behind every rock and under every fallen log. The fox finds nothing but dry leaves and empty holes. His ears droop down and his tail hangs low with disappointment. The fox keeps walking deeper into the forest. His steps become slower and heavier. Hunger makes his body weak and exhausted. The fox sits down under a tree to rest. He holds his empty belly with both paws, looking miserable and hopeless about his fate. The fox sighs. After admiring herself, the crow flies away from the lake. She soars high above the treetops, enjoying the warm morning breeze. The crow spots a small cottage at the edge of the forest. Smoke rises gently from its chimney into the clear blue morning sky. Curious, the crow flies closer to the cottage. She circles around the little house, looking for something interesting below. Suddenly, the crow notices something bright yellow on the windowsill. It is a beautiful wedge of cheese, glowing in the sunlight. The crow's eyes widen with excitement. The cheese looks delicious and smells wonderful. She must have it for her breakfast today. The crow dives down quickly toward the windowsill. She lands quietly on the wooden ledge, right next to the golden cheese wedge. The crow looks left and right to check for danger. The coast is clear. She grabs the cheese firmly in her sharp yellow beak. With the prize secure, the crow flaps her wings and takes off. She flies away from the cottage, carrying the cheese triumphantly. The crow flies back into the heart of the forest. She searches for the perfect spot to enjoy her delicious prize in peace. The crow finds a magnificent old oak tree standing tall in a sunny clearing. This tree is the tallest and grandest in the forest. The crow flies up to the highest branch of the oak tree. She lands gracefully on the thick branch high above the ground below. From this high perch, the crow can see the entire forest around her. She feels safe and proud, like a queen on her throne. The crow looks down at the cheese held tightly in her beak. The golden wedge gleams beautifully in the warm morning sunlight. The crow tilts her head, admiring the cheese from different angles. Her eyes sparkle with satisfaction and pride over her find. The crow puffs up her chest feathers with great pride. She believes she is the cleverest and luckiest bird in all the land. The crow prepares to take her first delicious bite. She opens her beak slightly, ready to taste the wonderful cheese at last. Not far away, the fox continues wandering through the forest. His stomach still growls painfully with unbearable hunger pangs. The fox walks past the tall oak tree in the clearing. Suddenly, something catches his attention high up in the branches above. The fox looks up and spots the crow perched on the highest branch. His sharp eyes notice the yellow cheese in the crow beak. The fox's eyes grow wide with desire. His mouth waters instantly at the sight of the delicious golden cheese up in the tree. The fox licks his lips hungrily. Drool drips from the corner of his mouth. That cheese would make the perfect meal for him. The fox looks at the tree trunk, thinking about climbing up, but the trunk is too tall and smooth for his paws to grip. The fox tries to jump and reach the lowest branch. He fails completely and falls back down to the ground with frustration. The fox sits down and stares up at the crow and the cheese. He must think of another way to get that cheese for himself. The fox sits quietly under the oak tree, thinking hard. His clever mind races to find a way to get the cheese from the crow. Suddenly, a sly idea flashes in the fox's mind. His eyes light up with cunning intelligence. He knows exactly what to do now. A mischievous grin spreads slowly across the fox's face. This plan is brilliant and will surely work perfectly on the crow. The fox stands up confidently and brushes the dirt off his fur. He straightens his posture and prepares to act his part. The fox walks gracefully toward the base of the oak tree. He positions himself directly below where the crow is perched above. The fox looks up at the crow with pretend admiration in his eyes. He puts on his most charming and friendly expression. The fox tilts his head gently, gazing at the crow as if seeing the most beautiful creature in the entire forest world. The crow notices the fox staring up at her from below. She looks down curiously, wondering what this fox could possibly be. The fox begins his performance with grand, dramatic gestures. He bows deeply to the crow as if greeting a royal queen above. The fox points at the crow's glossy black feathers with amazement. He pretends to be dazzled by their beautiful shine and color. The fox runs his paw along his own fur, then points back at the crow. He shakes his head as if his fur cannot compare. The fox spreads his arms wide in awe. He gestures at the crow's elegant wings and graceful figure perched on the high branch. The fox places both paws over his heart dramatically. He pretends to be deeply moved by the crow's magnificent beauty above. The fox wipes a fake tear from his eye with great emotion. The crow watches with growing interest and flattery from above. The fox then points eagerly at the crow's throat. He cups his ear with one paw, clearly asking to hear the crow's lovely voice. The fox clasps his paws together pleadingly, begging the crow to sing. The crow listens to all of the fox's flattering gestures from her branch. She begins to feel very pleased with herself indeed. The crow's chest puffs up with growing pride. She lifts her head higher and higher, believing every bit of the fox's false praise. The crow spreads her wings wide open to show off their glossy beauty. She turns slowly so the fox can admire every feather. The crow tilts her head from side to side with royal elegance. She poses proudly like a model, showing off her finest look. The crow looks down at the fox's eager waiting face below. She feels flattered that someone appreciates her so very deeply. The crow remembers the fox's request to hear her sing. She decides to grant his wish and show him her magnificent voice too. The crow takes a deep breath and prepares to sing proudly. She completely forgets about the cheese still held in her beak. The crow opens her beak wide to let out a beautiful song. But instead of music, only a loud, harsh caw escapes her throat. The moment the crow opens her beak, the golden cheese slips
this
out
cheese
and
is
falls.
mine!
Time
Wait!
seems to slow down as
No!
it tumbles through
Help!
air. The cheese falls slowly past the branches and leaves. It spins and tumbles, catching the sunlight as it drops toward ground. The fox watches the falling cheese with laser-sharp focus. His body tenses like a spring, ready to leap at perfect moment. The fox jumps up with lightning speed and catches the cheese in his mouth. He lands perfectly on all four paws with his prize. The crow stares down in complete shock and disbelief. Her beak hangs open as she realizes she has been cleverly tricked. The fox looks up at the crow with a sly, victorious grin. He winks playfully at the foolish bird high up on the branch above. The fox turns around and trots away happily with the cheese. His bushy tail waves proudly behind him as he disappears. The fox vanishes into the deep forest shadows, leaving the crow alone. The clever fox has won his delicious prize at last. The crow remains alone on the branch, frozen in shame. She lowers her head slowly, feeling foolish and deeply embarrassed now. The crow stares at the spot where the fox disappeared into the trees. She realizes her pride and vanity cost her the cheese. A single tear rolls down the crow-feathered cheek. She has learned a painful lesson about flattery and foolish pride today. The afternoon sun begins to set, painting the forest in warm orange light. The crow sits quietly, lost in her sad thoughts. The crow flies down from the oak tree to the forest lake. She lands by the water edge where she admired herself this morning. The crow gazes at her reflection in the still water once more. This time, her eyes show wisdom and humility, not vain pride. The crow nods slowly at her reflection, accepting her mistake. She spreads her wings and takes flight toward the evening sky. The crow flies home to her nest as the sun sets behind the trees. She returns a wiser bird, never to be fooled by